Hello, Stationeers. Welcome to my Europa creative mode base. We're going to check out an airlock pressure relief system. There's some other videos on this, but this one is a little weird, I suppose. So, first we're going to answer the question, why would you need an airlock pressure relief system? Well, if you're using passive vents like this one, you really don't need it because the air in there is continuously vented. But in this one, we've got a dead end airlock. And even though we do have a vent there, there's a one-way valve there. So air only goes in, it never goes out. The advantage of that is we can keep the air pressure pretty high inside of these pipes. So that's about 23 megapascals there. But the problem is if you put too much air in there, your pipe's going to explode. So we need some way to vent it out of there. So what a lot of people I've seen do is they'll put a back pressure regulator here and maybe set that to, I don't know, I guess we want it higher than that. You could set that extremely high. So when your air pressure in there, say, goes above 25 megapascals, it'll just come out the vents. So that works pretty good. But the disadvantage of that is that each of these pressure regulators are taking 100 watts. So it's 200 watts total because you'll need one on the outside too. So we could save a little energy in there by putting an IC in there, and it could monitor the pressure in there and only turn that on when it's got a sufficient amount of pressure in there. And 99% of the time, that thing's not going to be running. So you save 200 watts there, but then you got to spend 50 watts keeping that thing running. So now we're kind of back to where we started. We've got 100 watts and we're able to vent out that pressure. So the difference is that in this version I've got in here, we're just using the active vents that are already part of your airlock to do that venting out. So how does this work? When we go into our airlock, this thing in here, there's an advanced airlock chip in there, and that is what is called a state machine. And as you use this airlock, it's changing states in there. So we can actually observe this with our meter.
Depressurizing.
So we'll use the configuration chip. You can see right now it's setting 5. So that means the external side is open. And if we cycle it, it's now setting 6.
Warning, pressure low.
Setting 1. And then when it opens, it's going to be setting 2. So in our IC, we can monitor this setting variable to decide when we're going to turn on these active vents. So we can do a little demonstration here. We can turn this thing on. Where's our data disk? Put the data disk in there. We're going to set both pressures to 0. So this thing's going to suck in a lot of air.
Pressurized. Warning, pressure low.
So you can see this vent is turned on and it's decreasing the pressure of that pipe. It's going to go down a little bit below 25 megapascals.
Depressurizing.
There you go. Then it turns itself off. I guess we can also check the speed of this thing. I actually did check it, and it wasn't quite as fast as I thought it was going to be. We'll close that. Close that. Wait for that to open. Oh, I guess we should make it a fair fight. So that one's set to 90-20. We'll set this one to 90-22.
Warning, depressurizing.
So 20 over there. 90 over there. By the way, pro tip, if you ever get locked out of your airlock, you can reach right through the door. Okay, so now that one, we'll wait for that to open. Alright, now we've got both sides open. This one's a little slower, so we'll give it a head start. See which door opens first. There we go. It's pretty close, actually. And we can close this one. We'll wait for this to open. So this one is a little bit faster, but I'll be honest with you, I thought it was going to be a little better. I think they've actually improved the active vents. But nonetheless, I'm going to show you how to hook this thing up. Alright, to begin with, we've got our standard airlock setup here. Got our console sensor, 2 vents. And let's start by wiring the IC into the airlock. Fits pretty nicely there. Alright, now we can go program our chip. Looks like I've got the right program. Export that into the chip. Pop it in there, then we're going to turn it quickly on and off, and that's going to set the labels on there. So we'll start by setting the console. Ignore the vents for now. We don't have sensors yet. And we will set the gas sensor. Now we can update the pipe network. And actually, before we do that, need to go into configuration, and we're going to unlink both of the vents. If you don't do it, this chip can go a little crazy on you. So let's drill out the vents. Let's get rid of these pipes. We gotta get rid of these wires too. And we'll put the vents back like this with the pipe facing upwards. Then we'll get our pipe analyzers. Put them so their power is facing inwards and you can see the console. Wire these up. Now we can relabel them. And we'll call this one interior sensor. And exterior sensor. Now we can go back to our config here. Put back in the data disk. Oh, have we screwed up our chip? Exterior vent. Exterior. I'm not quite sure why that messed up on us. See if that has any effect. No. So maybe when you do this, you need to disconnect everything from it. But as it stands right now, this chip is toast. Put our disk back in. Gas sensor. Exterior, interior. Exterior vent, interior vent. 20 and 90. Now we can come down to our IC here. So on the left side, we need to wire the interior vent. And the exterior vent. And then the right side, the interior sensor. And the exterior sensor. Turn it on. Now, right now, there is no air in there.
Pressurized. Warning.
So it's going to take a
Pressure
few
low.
cycles to charge it up. So you can see right now it wants to pressurize, but there's no air. So you can cancel out of that.
Depressurizing.
All right, that side had enough air. So if you want to make this a little more safe and never risk it, like if you're stuck out here and you can't reach in there and hit it, we can do something like this. You can take a pipe here.
Warning. Temperature low. Depressurizing.
Actually, right there, we want it to be the valve. Well, that's embarrassing. Why did that not vent out? Alright, so I have discovered the solution to our exploding problem, and it is liquid oxygen. So let's see if we can fix that. Alright, so we need a couple of pipes. This one is going to go out there. This one will go out there. Get our one-way valve. We want that to go inward. That one to go inward. That one can go there. Put a passive vent there.
Pressurized. Warning. Pressure low.
That one can go straight up. So that's going to allow air from out there to be fed in there if we don't have enough air.
Warning. Temperature low. Depressurizing.
Put the pipe analyzer back. Exterior sensor. Exterior, interior, gas sensor vent. Okay. So right now we've just got oxygen in it.
Depressurizing. Warning, pressure low.
Just oxygen.
Depressurizing. Pressurizing. Warning, pressure low.
Now we're starting to get liquid oxygen.
Depressurizing. Pressurizing. Warning, pressure low. Warning.
Yep,
Warning,
load up.
pressure low.
So I guess this is not a viable method for Europa. You'd have to run one of these, let's look at it here. You would need to run a purge valve. So I think for this side, where'd our pipes go? To get rid of that.
Warning, temperature low. Depressurizing.
Exterior sensor.
Pressurized. Warning, pressure low.
There we go. So this side is going to rise up to 25 and vent
Warning,
itself out.
temperature low. Depressurizing.
Now I guess I can show you this crazy circuit. Okay. So we start out up here. We start by saving the setting of the console and setting our minimum pressure to the maximum pressure times a multiplier. And then we reset our timeout to 0. So what this timeout does, if we go back to the game, if these things are on and that is on, in 1 minute they're going to turn off to save power. So then we go into our idle phase. And as long as the setting of the airlock is not changed, you haven't pressed the button on it, it's just going to stay in this state and keep counting the number of ticks. When the ticks is over the timeout number, it'll go into power save mode, turn the console off and all the other stuff off. And then it'll stay in standby mode until you do something on the console. So when this setting does change, if it's 2 or 5, it's going to go over here and decide whether the interior door is open or the exterior door. And depending on the door, it's going to set one of these registers. So dev vent is going to be set according to the vent that's being used, and dev sensor is going to be set according to the sensor that's being used. Then we'll head on down to check pressure. We'll turn the sensor on, dev sensor, and we'll keep reading the pressure from it. If the pressure's already good, we'll just turn everything off. But if the pressure's not good, we'll go over to this vent on state. And what we do there is we set the external pressure of the vent to 1 kPa above what the gas sensor's reading. So if the gas sensor's reading 100, we'll set the pressure external to 101. And as that pressure rises, we're going to keep setting it a little higher. That just makes it so all of the air doesn't come out in one big whoosh. And after the pipe is down below min pressure, we'll head over here, turn off our vents, and go back to the reset state. Now, while this thing is in its venting out state here, if somebody does come in and press the airlock, we're going to go into the interrupt state. And that's just going to set the vent back to mode 1, which is what the airlock is expecting. Then we'll lock the vent and go back up to reset. If you want the source code for this, I'll put a link in the description. Thanks for watching.